arcade sucks!
Alright, heading back into Sonic Generations. Here we are with Crisis City from Sonic the Hedgehog 2006, which we are playing on the channel right now as well. So, hope you guys are enjoying that as well. My pain and my suffering and all that good stuff. But anyway, like I said in the last video, I really want to talk about not even just the rewrite for this game, but Flynn in general. So, I have a bit of a weird, conflicting opinion on Flynn. And I'll say this, let me get this out of the way first. I am a huge consumer of like manga, American comics, stuff like that. Like, I consume in a lot of that. So, you know, I'd like to say that although I'm not a writer myself, I would love to be one day, maybe, if YouTube works out. Although I'm not a writer myself, I do pride myself in being pretty understandable about written media and how it works, and just you know, kind of in general understanding it a lot better than most people do. So I do want to point that out first, but I'm not an expert. I also want to point that out. This is just kind of simply my opinion. So when it comes to the rewrite of Generations, first of all, I'll say this, for Generations in general, I think it's fine. I think it's fine because Generations before didn't really have much of a story, and that was not a problem to me before. And giving it a story now still isn't really a problem. I think it just kind of makes it a little more cohesive and just kind of more fun in a weird way, even if it is Flynn just having a freaking seizure every 2 seconds trying to fit as many references as he can in. You know, and that's between Ian and, you know, Sega and them. But that's between, you know, Ian and Sega and all of them. But for the most part, I think Ian he's a decent writer. Frontiers was pretty good, but I don't like what Frontiers did with Amy specifically. I think Amy, upon, you know, consuming more media and understanding more media and how media is just done, I've come to understand now, and I've turned around a lot on my opinion on Amy over the years. I think Amy is actually a really well written character beforehand, and making her this kind of kick butt figure that, you know, doesn't take crap from anybody and you know, doesn't like Sonic anymore, which was kind of like the center part of her character, kind of what made her, you know, kind of thing. I don't like that he's changing that, and I don't like what he's done with the comics, because he needs to really focus on these characters firsthand before we can even get, you know, even new characters, because I think they're more of an issue right now than the new characters. And I also don't really like the new characters either, especially since most of the new characters we've gotten are female characters, and while that's not a bad thing, I think that's fine. Literally all of them have been females except for Starline. That's actually crazy now that I think about it. That's actually, whoa. But that's the thing about those said female characters. They're all the same. They are painfully the same. And they're all just, oh, I'm gonna kick your butt kind of character. They're just like this, you know, I don't take answers from anybody kind of kick butt character. And it's stale, it's annoying, and I don't really think Ian should continue writing it that way. And I also think that his stories are very incohesive. Wait, that's a Chow right there. Did y'all see that? He was like flying. He was like flying, bro. I wanted to grab that, but I think I'll say this, when it comes to the Metal Virus arc, I think the idea and execution is a really good one. But the problem with Metal Virus is it is completely and totally incoherent. Like, there's a lot of moments where characters that really shouldn't be that dumb make some of the dumbest decisions I think I've ever made, and it skips around a lot, and it attempts to kind of like try to have these emotional moments that really don't work. And I think Sonic also takes an incredible huge but yes, after whatever the frick that was, the Metal Virus arc tries to really like tug at your heartstrings by doing like certain things that I think is just kind of, there we go. Oh, so you have to get him while he's running. Ah, interesting. Okay. If you miss him, that's your only chance. That's very interesting. And it's the Tails one. Frick you. You're a loser. Go down here real quick because you can get your other red star ring. Nice. There we go. Might be able to get all of them before the stage ends, which actually would be really cool. But anyway, I think the Metal Virus arc does a lot of things wrong, but I also think it does some things right. But I think a lot of people are really, really enjoying this Riders arc, and there's a big reason for that. Ian has been taken off. What is that? What was that? It did it again! I'm gonna have to go through this way, aren't I? Yeah, literally have to go down and over because the game glitches and pulls me back. That's actually insane. That should not happen, but it does. That's just what I was talking about in one of the previous videos. Literally what I was talking about, where this game has issues that it should not have, and that was one of them right there. That was 100% one of them right there. Give me the truck. 100% one of them. Not even a contest, honestly. And this could have been an S rank run. This could have been an S rank run. This literally could have been an S rank run if it was not for that stupid glitch. I'm about to go back because that actually made me so mad. That actually made me so freaking mad. Literally could have been an S rank run if it was not for that stupid glitch, bro. Literally. I hate this stage so much. I hate this stage, bro. Okay, whatever. Hold on, I'll be right back. Literally have no idea what the frick that was. Anyway, let's get into this. Because like I said... Oh. I don't need to know that. We're good. We're good. Because like I said, I think Ian is an okay writer at best, I guess is the best way to put it. He constantly, it's weird. I feel like this dude's got like Tourette's when it comes to like making Sonic references. Like this dude cannot go a single second without making a Sonic reference. Like he's a freaking Family Guy writer, bro. Like this dude must be friends with Seth MacFarlane or something. Cause there's no, what the frick was that? What? I hate the new physics in this game. And yes, I'm gonna blame it on the physics because that's what it is. Whatever. We're gonna miss that. I don't really care, honestly. But I think he's kind of just a mid writer at best. I think the writer's arc did as well as it did because he's not the main writer on it. They took him off of it to do the games, of course. So he's doing the games now. But that just kind of goes to show, honestly, that like, you know, like he's really not as good as a writer as he said, as people think he is. And a lot of people really worship the dude, which like fair, I guess. But like, I think we should really kind of like reevaluate his writing style because a lot of people have really been looking at this writer's arc and saying like, oh man, yeah, this feels like really different. Like it's really good. It's really written good. All the characters kind of feel like they originally used to be. And it's because Ian Flynn is not on it. If he had been on it, you know, it would probably still feel the same. And a lot of people really like these characters like Surge and all this. And I'm just going to be 100% honest and transparent. I'm not even fixing to lie about it. Anybody who asked me to do a Surge mod or any of these other things, I just want you to know you're not getting what is going on with my gameplay right now, bro. Anybody who asked me to play these Surge mods or anything like that, I can guarantee you it's not happening. I'll be honest. I'm going to say this with so much vitriol. Y'all are going to be concerned for me in the comments. I'm gonna say this with as much vitriol and hate in my heart possible, because this is how strongly I feel about it. And guess what? I don't care, because I know I've tried to tell people that I don't, but I'm tired of like lying about it. I hate Surge. I hate Kitsunami. I hate Tangle. I hate Whisper. I hate literally every single new character that Ian Flynn has created. I hate them all. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I hate them all. I think they suck. I think they are horrible. I think they're boring. I think they don't serve any purpose in this entire... I love how as soon as I start hating, I can't get over this what? Oh my gosh, bro. What is happening to me? I literally know what to do here. I don't care. I don't care at this point. I hate this stage, bro. I'm about to have to do a two-parter recording and then fuse them into one, because what the frick is my gameplay? I am so cooked, dude. But I was gonna say that I absolutely hate every single new character that Ian has made. I think they're all boring. I think they're just flat and lifeless. I think they all are the copy paste of each other. They're all the same. They're not different. They don't feel any different. They don't feel original. They all feel like the same person of like, oh, like kick butt, like what's Whisper do? Like, oh, I want to kick butt, but I'm just quiet and nervous all the time. Tangle's like, oh, I'm outgoing, but I want to kick butt all the time. Surge is like, I want to kick butt all the time, but I'm evil. And I'm like Sonic. Like, bro, it's not original, and it's not fun in any sort of way. And I just generally, I don't think it's not good. And I think Ian really needs, if he can get better, I think it'll be fine, but I don't like the direction he's specifically taking Sonic. And I don't like that he tries to reference everything, because I mean, here's the thing. I know he has some things to work with, but I do think that he lies about Sega having mandates. I doubt that Sega has this many mandates, because if they did, they wouldn't be making changes. I think it's his way of saying, I'm going to do what I want, and I'm going to frame it as Sega. That way people are more accepting of it. So when I try to make these changes, people were like, oh, it's Sega, not Ian, and Ian's just listening, kind of thing. And I think that's incredibly dangerous to fall into. Okay, so some good news and some bad news. Good news, I can still play this. Bad news, my mic didn't pick up in the last recording, so I'm gonna just re-record this. You can already see all the ranks and everything I got, which is fine. I'm just gonna run through this again. Honestly, I get a better run out of it, so I'm not even gonna complain about it. So anyway, what I was saying in the last, well, I wouldn't even say in the last one, it's actually been a few days since I recorded the Crisis City segment, and this was originally supposed to be with it. So if you're seeing this, it is with it, just albeit with a different day that it was recorded, but hopefully the gameplay will be better, because, well, the gameplay last time was cooked, which is exactly why I was like, you know what, I need a break. I need a break. And now we're back here. But anyway, as I was saying something about Ian Flynn and kind of just the rewrite, and I don't really like these characters, and I don't think that going forward we should try to put these characters in the game, because something that Frontiers did, which was mention like Tangle and try to like make her canon in a way, and I really don't think we need to do that. I really don't think we need to make any of the comic characters canon. And I'm not saying that because of the fact that I don't like these characters. I'm saying that as a fact because it will actually do more damage to the Sonic community than I think a lot of people think it will. And here's why. I actually had a debate with about this with somebody for like hours on end, and they never got the point. And I'm just going to be as blunt as possible when I say this as well, because honestly, a lot of people aren't going to really get this through their thick skulls. Because the thing is whether I like it or not, there are people out there that like these characters and want them to be canon. And while that's fine, there's a lot of different reasons why, and this is without my bias, these characters cannot become canon, because it will do more damage to the series than the regular series. And why is that? Why is it that I say that? Because of this one simple fact. The thing is, bringing these characters into the canon, there's no real good way to actually introduce them into the canon, you know, because they already exist. So introducing them into the canon like these are characters that have already long existed, one, just doesn't work, because Sonic can't interact with them on a, you know, a normal basis, or even be like, oh, well, these are characters that generally cannot be interacted with, like, oh, I just met you, hello Tangle, and hello Whisper, and all. Like, that doesn't work. That just doesn't work. And the thing that is going to happen that a lot of people don't want to admit is you're going to have to, sadly, if they start trying to connect all this canon together, is you're going to have to start picking up a comic book, which some people don't want to do. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't think the IDW comics are bad. As much hate as I've been giving them here, I don't think they're horrible. I just don't think these characters are as good as people make them out to be. I think they're incredibly overrated, to be fair, to be honest. But that's just me. But that's not to say these stories don't have some sort of good in them, even with the inconsistencies that Ian writes and with how bad some of these stories can get. I don't think they're horrible, so that is a plus. But there is no way to introduce these characters without having to pick up a comic, because if you start introducing these characters into the canon while still doing the comics, and the comics are canon, Sonic's going to start referencing things from the comics, and they're going to have to reference the comics in the games in order for you to understand who Tangle is. And there are some people that, even if you like the comics or you don't, there are a lot of people that maybe are like, oh yeah, the comics are interesting, but generally don't want to consume that sort of media, which is completely and totally fine. Like, I'm one of those kind of people in a sense, because I do own some of the comics, but you know, I don't generally consume that source of media, because it's just something that doesn't completely and totally interest me as a whole, right? So next thing I don't want is to have to go and pick up a comic forcefully if I don't want all of them. If it's something that doesn't interest me, I don't want to have to forcefully pick up a comic in order to understand everything in the lore. And while I appreciate that, you know, Ian is trying to connect a lot of the lore, I do think that it's still, you know, a little, you know, I guess, is nuanced the word? I still think it's going to be incredibly tedious, I guess is the best way to put it, to have to shell out extra money on a series that I already like and I can enjoy in one medium, having to enjoy it from multiple mediums. And the thing is that does make money for Sega, so if Sega generally does want to enjoy those sources of, if Sega does want more money, they can definitely get more money from those mediums if they so pleased, which is good for them, 100% good for them. There's no real negative that comes from wanting to connect both of those, because Sega is getting more money out of their pockets in general from that. So there is no net negative that comes from Sega for that, which is pretty good. But either way, okay, don't you dare. I wanted to get on the other side, but maybe it's not gonna happen. Whatever. Okay, whatever. I wanted to get that freaking red star ring, but it's not gonna let me, I don't think. Okay. Okay. Cool. Sorry about that. Yeah, my mic didn't pick up. For some reason, it reset again. It's probably because my mic, I had to fix it. Earlier, it was actually bugging out. Last night, I should have checked that it didn't reset, but it is what it is. But yeah, having to do multiple sources of media, I know everybody's not going to want to do that, because there are some people, believe it or not, even if you enjoy like the Marvel comics, there are some people that probably also enjoy just the just like the Spider-Man games, for example. Like you might enjoy the Spider-Man like character, but you might only consume things from him as a character from via just the games, compared to the comics and every other thing that he might be in, like movies and stuff. There's a lot of different areas. Like, I personally really love Spider-Man, but I've never actually engaged in a Spider-Man comic. Like, I don't really actually own any Spider-Man, a lot of Spider-Man comics. I own a lot of Spider-Man merch, but it's like I've consumed Spider-Man through other means, which sure isn't giving me a thing. But the best way to look at it is this: Dark Souls, for example. Dark Souls has lore, and it has lore that is in the game, but it's not explicitly clear what kind of lore the game is giving you. You actually have to go to a freaking wiki page or some sort of other medium just to enjoy this, the lore and everything, which personally isn't for me. But I don't want to have to go and pick up a comic against my will, especially if I don't want to do that. And there's going to be a lot of people that are going to disagree with me simply off the fact that I've admitted that I don't like the IDW characters, and you're probably just like, oh well, you don't like the IDW characters, so that's the only reason you're saying that. Look, if you genuinely believe that having to not keep the comics as a viable source of, well, I wouldn't say a viable source, but a source of material to be able to keep up with the Sonic canon, and you think that that's not going to happen by introducing these characters into the games, you are and yes, I am calling out that one person that I debated. I won't say where I did, but I did debate somebody on this topic, and they did not get it as many times as I repeated it. And there's going to be people in this YouTube comment section that are definitely going to agree with me as well. What the frick is happening? Bro, I hate the new physics in this game. I really do. I really freaking do. Side note, I really hate the physics in this game. The new physics. But that's the thing. The thing is there's not enough with connecting the canon. It's just not going to do good, especially when the comics are already taking their own liberties of changing a lot of things to a point where, like, I go on TikTok, and I know TikTok isn't probably the best place to like go, because a lot of people don't know what they're talking about on TikTok. So yeah, but like, I still go there, and a lot of people don't know anything about the Sonic lore or the timeline or anything like that. And so when I tried to correct them and tell them things about the series, they tell me that I don't know anything. And I'm like, dude, I have been in this fan base probably since before you were born. And it's a thing about, a lot of people trying to say that because they consume the comics, and a lot of people really think that the comics dictate a lot of what happens just because they're considered quote unquote canon.